Okay, this is Mark. Okay, we've got a board. It's been soldered. I see several problems on it, but I'm not too concerned about them. Let me switch over to the microscope. Okay, so, several issues. One is, this is the back of the USB connector. I see at least 4 shorts there. Not a big deal. Those look easy to fix. Those ICs look all really nice and good. The microprocessor, there's a short there, and I can see some pins that I'm not sure are soldered well, so we're just going to go around that with a soldering iron. And then, C4 never got warm enough. You can see that it doesn't look quite right. In fact, we'll touch the side of C3R5 and C4 there and clean that up. And and everything else looks pretty good. So, I mean, there's a good chance it'll just work off the bat. So let's go ahead and fix those things. I got a little vise here. Let me fix. And we're just going to do those with a soldering iron. And just solder and some solder wick or whatever we call it. Okay, so this guy, we can just come in here like this. And we'll just fix him. And these could look just a little bit cleaner. But that's all it takes. Now the processor, it looks way worse than it is in terms of challenges. I mean, those pins are 0.4 millimeters apart. And I want to tilt that so you can see what it's doing here. Let's see if I can clamp this in a way to get it tilted. Without burning holes and everything. Okay, let's get this a little closer to focus. Now you can see a short there on the processor, and it's so much easier to fix than you would think, because I can just take this. We're just going to take a little bit of flux. Adding flux to everything really helps a lot. So we'll just add a little bit of flux in here. Goober it up. Okay, so I'm going to come in here with the soldering iron, and I'm just going to kind of like slide it right along. And you can see they're all soldered down. Okay. Let me rotate the board so we can get the next side. If I don't tilt it, you can't see it. Okay. Again, just a little bit of extra solder paste on there. And we're just going to come in here and we're just going to clean that one up. Same routine. It will flow. Now sometimes, when I put this part down, it sticks up there just a bit too far and I can't get it to connect. And then I'll just use hot air and warm it up and then push it down. Okay, I still got that side to go. Okay. And a few more shorted pins. As I said, these pins are 0.4 millimeter spacing. So they really are hard to do much with on a single issue. Just like if I need to tack a wire onto one of those pins, that gets tricky. Okay. The other thing that we saw was the USB connector. So let me clamp this in at this angle and get up here for this. Okay, so that one's, well, let's try the same thing. This may not work as smooth here, but you know, we'll do what we need. We may get lucky and it'll just work. I can't quite just run it along, so I'm pulling it down the pins, but that's working just fine. Well, that looks good. Okay. So now we need one more test before we try to power it up. And I need an ohm meter on this thing. Let's see if we can go back to the document camera here. That's probably going to be a little better. Okay, so everything's in pretty good shape. And there's a really quickie test I do, and that is just to check to make sure nothing's really shorted that would take a huge amount of power. And if I connect, one of these is grounded. Well, the frame of the USB is connected to ground. So this here is ground, and that is the 3.3 volt line, and that's at 2 kilo ohms. I think that's about where I remember. That must be the ground line. And 68K, and that looks like the 5 volt in. So that all looks exactly where it should. So let me pause the video. I'm going to use some isopropyl alcohol to clean up a few things here, and then we will give this thing a power up.